What is up, everybody? It's your boy Jargon here, the King here today to do another anime review. And today we're going to be running in the 90s. So today I'm going to be reviewing Initial D First Stage. So let's get on to the story. The story of Initial D First Stage is simple. It's about our main character named Takumi, who after spending some time working with his dad since he was a young kid, learning how to drive and of course helping him out with his business. One day he's on a normal delivery. He ends up passing by and accidentally getting into a race with this guy named Keisuke Takahashi, who is a member of the Red Suns. He ends up beating him in a race, and Keisuke throughout the first half of the anime is looking, well, the first couple episodes is looking for him, trying to figure out who was this 8'6" that was able to beat me in this in a downhill race in your town. I need to find him. I need to race him again. And he ends up going to the local street team at the time called the Street Stars, who is led by Ikitani. And Ikitani was going to race Keisuke himself, but then he ends up finding the 8'6" and asks who was the owner of it. He finds out it's Takumi's father, Bunta. Bunta's like, yo, I'm not a racer anymore. I'm not interested in that. You gotta go find somebody else. He's like, no, sir, you gotta race for us. We're in deep trouble. Obviously, I'm hurt. I can't do it myself. And my team members, they're no good at this. Like, they're not that good. They can't be one of the Takahashi brothers. So he's like, all right, I'll see what I can do, but I'm not guaranteeing that I'm gonna be the one racing. So he forces his son Takumi to go and race Keisuke, and of course the events of that race happens. And then throughout the entire series, we have Takumi being challenged by different teams in his local area of Gunma. And basically, that's the entire anime. To the point is leading up to his final race with Ryosuke Takahashi, who's Keisuke's older brother. And as the story, I love the story in the first stage. It's a very simple story of a kid who just does his regular job to help out the family racing, but he constantly getting challenged by people and his friends and his father. Everybody's like, yo, you gotta race them, it's a part of the culture and stuff like that. Obviously, my generation started that, and it's up to the new generation to continue that. And I love the fact that he has so many great rivals in here and so many great races and stuff like that, and with so many amazing characters in the first stage. And there's just so many great moments, and I love that Takumi grows throughout the entire first season from being this kid that doesn't really like to race. He's like, I don't like to race. I only do this because my dad wants me to help out with the family, make some money. And obviously, I'm a fast racer. I'm good. But I like that over time he started learning more about how to use the car properly, how to drift properly, how to be able to beat powerful cars. There are so many like iconic cars that are in here, and even though the animation for it is weak, because obviously it was made back in '95 and they were trying to use CGI at the time, which it wasn't the best yet. It was not even close to how it is nowadays. They still do a very good job. And the other thing I love about this is the characters. Like, the characters are very good. From, of course, Takumi, who's, like I already said, the kid that doesn't really like to raise. He just want to help out his dad. But he is willing to help out his friends no matter what, because his friend gets himself in a lot of situations, and it's up to him to defeat whatever racer he needs to defeat. And I also like that he does get a girlfriend in here, and he spends some time with her, and we get to learn about her story and stuff like that. There's just so many like great characters in here. And then obviously the big character in here, the big two characters is Keisuke Takahashi and Ryosuke Takahashi. And Keisuke is Takumi's first rival throughout the entire show, and I love the fact that they have such a great race the second time around. And I love throughout it, he's like, so this kid is something serious, and he's watching all these other racers go out there, and even more of his members try to go after Takumi. And I love that throughout the show he even started growing and get to become a better driver. Obviously throughout the later seasons we'll get to know more about his backstory and other stuff, but I really do like them. And then we have Ryosuke, who is constantly watching Takumi. He's watching him grow from all of these different races and stuff like that, to the point where he's like, yo, I gotta beat you myself. I'm the big racer. You're gonna have to go fight at the end of the series. You're definitely gonna have to fight me. And I really do enjoy that, because it's so refreshing to have a antagonist, but he's not evil just to be evil. He's just a racer who just loves to race, and he knows that Takumi is the best in his town, because the Speed Stars are like all jobber racers. Like, none of them are really good at it, to the point where once the series goes on, they don't even race anymore. It's like they don't race, they don't do really much of anything. They just sit around and just be Takumi cheerleader. But in here, they try to teach Takumi about cars and stuff like that, try to help him out. And there's just so many great things. Of course, you have his friend Itsuki, who he gets a bunch of different storylines and stuff like that throughout the entire show. And of course, you get Takumi's girlfriend, which I'll have her name here. And I'm not the biggest fan of her. Like, even in the later seasons, I don't care for her. She's just basically there to just be a love interest to Takumi, but we do find out something about her later on that kind of sours me towards her. But when she's with Takumi, they're a cute little couple, but she doesn't really play that much of a part until a much later season, and she's just kind of there. But again, the races are very good, even though, yes, the animation is not the greatest, but it's really how they were able to use it. And I love that the initial D, in terms of the manga and the anime, was helped by an actual street racer from Japan, and he was able to give the rider, obviously, the proper way to use the cars, how the cars work, and how drifting and all this other stuff. So it's a very authentic, like, racing anime, which I really do love and enjoy about that. And of course, you can't talk about Initial D without talking about the Euro beats. There are so many iconic songs in here. You have Dance, you have Running in the 90s, you have Raise Your Dream, which is the ending song, you have the opening song. There are so many great iconic, like, OSTs in here, to the point where we are still using those OST to this day. And I remember a friend of mine actually put on Running in the 90s, and he put on some other track from Initial D, and he was telling me for years, yo, bro, you gotta watch this, you gotta watch this. I know you're not really into cars like that, but trust me, after you watch it, you're gonna be into cars, but definitely you're gonna be into the soundtrack. The Eurobeats go hard, and it comes from Europe. It was popular in the 80s, and then eventually it got over to Japan, and they loved it over there, to the point where they were getting ready to create Initial D. They was like, okay, we need a soundtrack. We go with rock, we go with J-pop and all this other stuff. But they was like, nah, let's use Eurobeat, and we'll create songs around it. And man, some of the most iconic songs. But if you guys have not seen Initial D First Stage, I highly recommend watching Initial D First Stage. Even though, yes, the animation is not the greatest, but it's the characters and the story that really drives you, and the races are very good. There are 3 films touching on the first stage, but they're called the Legend films. I watched those before I watched the first stage. I recommend watching the first stage over those movies because they cut out a lot of good races. There's one of my favorite races. It's in here, but they completely cut it out of the movie. I recommend watching it here because you get a lot of character development, you get a lot of great moments and stuff like that leading into the other seasons, and that's the main reason why I say stick to the anime. You're going to have a great time with it. But that's all I got to say about this. Hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I will catch you guys later. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe. As always, don't forget to hit that bell button every time I get notified whenever I make a new video. Don't forget to check out my TikTok, and I will catch you guys later. This is your boy Dragon the King signing out. Peace.